Hello there, coming at you with a student request for People Are Strange by The Doors. And this came from a teenage student, which is awesome because when I was a teenager, this was definitely the song that drew me into The Doors music. Here we're going to cover how to play the intro guitar part, and we'll cover some other parts in later videos. The ultimate goal is to play this at 114 beats per minute. And it's going to sound a little something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, so as we work our way through this, we'll do little bits and pieces and glue them all together at tempos of 85 beats per minute, 100 beats per minute, and 114 beats per minute. And that'll be our goal. It's based around 3 main chords. Those chords are E minor. If I go from ceiling to ground on all 6 strings, starting with the string closest to the ceiling, which is string number 6 or the low E string, it's open, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, open, open, open. Next chord is A minor. We leave out the 6th string, so we start from the open 5th string or the A string and go open, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, open, A minor. Last chord is probably the toughest of all open chords. It's the B7, but it's probably the coolest. Again, we leave out string number 6, string number 5, we play the 2nd fret, next string towards the ground, 4th string, 1st fret. Next string towards the ground, 3rd string, 2nd fret. 2nd string is open, makes it an open chord, and then the 2nd fret of string 1. So we got 2, 1, 2, 0, 2. 5 strings, B7. That's the chord you hear at the very end of the song too. Chord structure wise, you got a measure of E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, split measure of A minor on 2 and E minor, A minor, E minor, B7, Now that we know the chords, we're going to get into the riff. So there is a lead into the song that starts this off, and it starts on beat 2 of the lead-in measure. So we count it in, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. And it looks a little something like this. So our lead-in measure, again, is going to start on beat 2. There's a rest on beat 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. And here I'm just hitting a B note at the 2nd fret of the 5th string, an A note at the open 5th string, and a G note at the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Bonus points if you add in this little quarter step bend, which I probably didn't do in the intro. Alright, so put that in time, 85 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 100 beats per minute, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 114 beats per minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. Here we're going to bring in the first actual measure of the song, which to note, you see 8th notes up there, but they are swing 8th notes. So you would think this would be played as, right, but it's got a swing to it, so it's, that just means the second 8th note in anytime you count an and, it's just a little delayed, so you almost count it as an So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you go 1, a 2, a 4 and. 2, a 4, Alright, so this is based around that E minor chord completely. So I grab my E minor chord, and I'm going to use these picking directions. This symbol means downstroke, and this symbol means upstroke. You might find your own way of playing this, but this is the way I like to play it. On the E minor chord, when I walk it down, sometimes I'll use 2 fingers. Play the 4th string at the 2nd fret, the 5th string at the 2nd fret, and then the 5th string at the 1st fret. But sometimes I might just use 1 finger and roll it down. Just depends on how I'm feeling and where I'm at in the song, but it's good to try it both ways. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our last note at the tail end of that will be an A note, so I'm going to throw it in here this time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. So we add in the lead in to that first full measure. It's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Now measure 3, as you see in the middle of the screen up there, is an A minor back to an E minor. So we start out by just playing an A power chord. Strings 5, 4, and 3. Then I hit the open G note, which signifies I'm going back to the E minor chord. There it goes. Then it has that same blues walk down from the previous measure. 85 beats per minute on this measure, and our last note is going to be an A note. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. We're going to put all 3 measures together, the lead in and the first and the second measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Alright, bringing in the next measure. Notice one thing that's different in here is at the tail end you have a triplet 8th note, and you'll kind of feel it as it transitions. And it's going to sound a little something like this. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Putting all those measures together, starting at 85 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, Alright, so now we're going to add in the last measure of the first half of the phrase, which is going to be a B chord, but instead of starting on a B note, we're actually going to start on a lower octave of its fifth, or a fourth below. We're going to start on the F sharp. This is going to be shaped kind of like if you know an open E chord. It's just like taking an open E chord, moving all your fingers one string towards the ceiling. So it's second fret of the sixth string, second fret of the fifth string, and first fret of the fourth string. So that's my B chord, to E minor, 1 and 2 and then we have that intro like we did in the intro, but instead of being played as quarter notes, we're doing eighth notes, swing eighth notes. On the B, A, G. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Alright, let's do the whole first half of that phrase, starting with the lead in. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Alright, so now that we have the first half down, the second half should be pretty easy because it follows a lot of the same patterns with just a few differences. For example, the first two measures in this pattern are exactly the same as the first two measures in the other pattern without the lead in. So technically we have it at the tail end of the first half. The change comes in the third measure of the second half of the pattern. So we're playing the power chord of A minor. Then we're still hitting this E note, but it's kind of introducing that E minor chord there. Low E. Back to the octave E at the second fret of the fourth string, and then that triplet run up. Now when I play that triplet run up, sometimes I just do straight hammer-ons from the open. Sometimes I do a pick, and a hammer. Sometimes a pick, and a slide. Whatever gets you there will work. There's also a slight change in the fourth measure of the second half of the pattern, which is when you play the B, still the same way as before. Instead of doing the walk down, you're just going to finish off the E minor chord. To the chorus. I'm going to launch right into it. Since the first two measures are exactly the same, we just got a slight change on measure 3 and measure 4. We're just going to play it all the way through. 1, 2, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. And the last step, we'll be putting it all together. Lead in, part 1 and part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Honestly, I had a little trouble playing that all the way through at 85 beats per minute. It seems too slow, but that's a good challenge as well. So if I was a little sloppy on that, I apologize. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 114 beats per minute. Here's our goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. So go forth, go through this video as many times as you have to. If you need to do slower tempos in between those 3 tempos, set your own metronome. Alright, so these are our goals. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Most importantly, have fun.